Of the four main classes in Terraria, I think it's fair to say that Ranger is often considered the least interesting. There are many threads across the internet where people talk about how they don't really like the Ranger class and they think it's boring in comparison to the rest. But how much truth is there really to this, and is the Ranger class boring? Let's talk about it. Before getting into the fun of the gameplay itself, it's important to mention the benefits of the Ranger class. Ranger is possibly the most consistent class within Terraria's progression. There's not a single stage in the game where you'll struggle using a ranged weapon. It's good throughout the early game, late pre-hard mode, early hard mode, the middle of the game, and the end game. Every other class in the game is still viable at any stage, but Ranger constantly has multiple powerful weapons at your disposal. This can make the Ranger class a really good option for new Terraria players who want a simple and easy class to get through every stage of progression. It can also make the class a great choice for somebody going into a harder difficulty where consistency matters a lot more. The gameplay of the Ranger class is also the safest of any class in the game. During most boss fights, you can simply run away while firing off bullets or arrows from a very far distance, and you won't need to take big risks that could cause you to take a lot of damage. This makes Ranger a lot more accessible because you don't need to worry as much about dodging attacks. If you're fighting a boss with a full summoner build, for example, you are forced to come decently close to whichever boss you want to fight since most whips don't have great range. This challenge is also present with most melee weapons throughout the early stages of the game and even a lot of magic weapons. With most classes, you need to approach enemies at a close distance to get a lot of damage, but with Ranger, you're actually incentivized to stay far away. By no means is the Ranger class bad, and that's very clear from these benefits, but I think there is good reason that people find the class underwhelming or boring, so let's talk about that. While the Ranger class has quite a few flashy unique weapons, it doesn't really seem to have as much variety in comparison to the other classes in the game. The Ranger class is made up entirely of bows, guns, and rocket launchers. While there is a lot of difference between these weapon types, it's nothing in comparison to every other class in the game. The melee class isn't just swords, it's also yo-yos and flails and boomerangs and spears. The mage class has wands, magic guns, spellbooks, and dozens of uncategorized weapons. The summoner class has whips, minions, and sentries. On the surface, it would look like summoner has about as much variety as Ranger, but the more I play summoner, the more I realize how many different playstyles are possible with the class. The more I play Ranger, on the other hand, the more bored I become and the less I want to use it in the future. The same consistency that makes the Ranger class so reliable in the first place also makes it less exciting. The gameplay just ends up being pretty repetitive. The one factor that can kind of make up for this is the different ammunition types. There are plenty of different kinds of arrows, bullets, and even rockets, which can make the gameplay a little bit more fresh. The issue is that for the most part, only a few kinds of ammo are actually worth using and others are just straight up useless. If you're using a gun in hard mode, for example, it's almost always recommended that you use ichor bullets, and if you can't, you use crystal bullets. There are niche uses for other bullets in the game for sure, but you probably won't be using them in a normal playthrough. As a whole, I think the Ranger class is reliable but underwhelming. I don't usually opt for it in my playthroughs anymore because the gameplay loop is so repetitive. If I want to go for pure DPS and strength, I'll go with the melee class, but if I want to go for something unique or fun, I'll go with Ranger or even Summoner. The Ranger class doesn't offer special enough gameplay to make it stand out from the other classes in the game, or at least that's how I see it. Do you think the Ranger class is underwhelming as well, or is it one of your favorites? Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy Terraria discussions just like this, make sure to subscribe because we are on our way to 3,000. See you next time. Bye-bye.